Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is VirtualNunchucks. I hope you're having a great day. Hope everything finds you well. Today, we're going to review Modern Warfare 2019. If you like the video, of course, leave me a like, consider subscribing, and of course, hit that notification bell so that you're notified whenever content hits the channel. Let's talk about Modern Warfare. In 2007, Infinity Ward was tasked with reinventing and rejuvenating a series that, of course, had been up to that point World War II shooters. So they said, okay, yeah, we'll give you a modern take on the game. We'll give you things you've never seen before. And they gave us memorable characters like Captain John Price, Soap McTavish, and all of his crew and cohorts, and they're awesome people. They gave us awesome set piece like the all gillied up mission where you take out Sokea from a mile away. They gave us all this stuff. And once again, thanks to bad monetization in recent years, thanks to gimmicks and people leaving the franchise and all kinds of stuff happening that is not good for the franchise, they're tasked with reinventing the wheel one more time. And in doing that, they gave us Modern Warfare, a reboot of the series. But should this series remain in our memory as a awesome series, or is this reboot worth it? So let's talk about the campaign. Let's talk about the characters and all the stuff involved. Okay? When you first boot up the game, you see, of course, your regular difficulties that you're used to, but you also see realism mode, which takes away your HUD, just like in the beta, if you played realism mode in the beta. And you have to listen to everything going on around you. You have to listen to your teammates. Otherwise, you could wind up dead really, really quick. I'm going to go back and play it in realism mode at some point or another because I enjoyed it thoroughly in the beta. So let's talk about the main bad guy. This guy right here. In this story, this is the Wolf. He's known as the Wolf. He is a very, very bad, cranky, old guy. He's also visually impaired. I don't know if you can tell from that video right there, but he is visually impaired. And he's telling his people to do some very, very bad things. And on top of that, he stole some nerve gas. Some very, very, very bad nerve gas. Think The Rock, the movie with Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery. That kind of nerve gas. It's kind of bad stuff. And he's going to do some bad stuff with it. And basically, you are tasked with recovering that gas. Okay? And to do that, you're going to need a little bit of help from characters both old and new. So let's talk about the good guys for a second. Good guys. First good guy up on the list is Alex. This guy right here. He's CIA Special Activities Division, and his job is to recover that gas and to make sure that bad guys and bad people do not get their hands on it to use it for nefarious purposes. Accompanied is his handler, Miss Kate Laswell, and that's General Shepard, by the way, folks. Yes, that General Shepard. Laswell is his boss, basically tells him when he can do it, how he can do it, and, well, if he should do it sometimes. Now, she's a pretty interesting character. We're going to leave it at that. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but in the first 20 minutes of the game, you're going to try to take the gas back. And if it succeeded in 20 minutes, it would be a very, very short campaign. And obviously, this is a flashback sequence to let you know what happened the day before. But in this campaign, let's talk about this for a second. First of all, it is a very grounded and real scenario. Okay, you have to when you clear a room, you have to check your corners. It's no longer a simple one-liner from Captain Price that people have memed to death, and I giggle about every once in a while and say check your corners all the time. But in this game, it's a real piece of advice. They've reinvented and retooled the engine and came up with this gorgeous engine. I'm not even going to talk about the graphics because it's right there in front of you, and this is actual gameplay. Now, please remember, though, that this is 1080p. This is on a standard PS4 and a 1080p television. I don't have 4K, and I don't have a PS4 Pro, but if I did, holy cow, this game would look even more incredible, and that's saying something, all right? But checking your corners is very real. Check your corners, because if you don't, you're going to end up being melted. I'll give an example of what I'm talking about. At one point in time, during a mission, I went around a corner, and I knew a guy was around the corner. I could hear him in the room. But because I didn't actually check my corners, and because I wasn't actually paying attention as I should, slowing down enough to pay attention, yeah, I got melted. Because a guy came through, busted through a door with a shotgun, and just blew me away, like, instantaneously. I heard him scream at me, I saw the door, and then I was dead. Okay? That's it. You can shoot people through doors, you can shoot people through walls, the AI is ridiculously smart. They can hide from you underneath beds and all kinds of things, so you must be paying attention. And the campaign also gives you tough moral choices from time to time, and you can actually mess up in this game. But not only do they give you tough moral choices, they still give you awesome set pieces, like this one right here. We're just going to wait just a second, because you have to see this. This is gorgeous. Watch this. Watch this. Watch it. Oh, thank you, Infinity Ward. That is how you open a game. Thank you, 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 thank you. I was so excited when I saw that. I was just like, oh, awesome. All right, anyway. All right, back to the campaign. All right, so checking your corners and the moral fiber of this game. All right, there are tough choices to make. Because of the nature of this game, you're going to make some tough choices. You can decide to follow that advice, the good advice that is given to you, the correct way to do it, or you can choose not to do it. But I will warn you, if you choose not to do it, you will get court-martialed at some point, or just sometimes just plain out die. Okay, it is possible to get reprimanded in this game. But the tough moral choices, without getting into a lot of details, for example, there's an instance where civilians are involved, and you have to be very, very careful with your shots. You have to be very, very careful to make sure that the guys that you're going in to get are actual bad guys and not just regular people. So that is very intense. This game is built on intensity. The whole thing from start to finish goes from like a 10 to, it just stays at a 10 the whole way through. There's only a couple of times where you have a breather, because the story is very well written and the story is very well presented. They brought in some Naughty Dog people. That is just gorgeous. Look at that. They brought in some Naughty Dog, former Naughty Dog employees to write the story, and you can tell. And it's just amazing how intricate and how intense this story is. I will tell you flat out, though, that there's even dialogue choices, man, which is pretty cool. In certain instances, you will get dialogue choices that affect how other characters perceive you or respond to you. And I thought that was a neat choice. Now, I'm not sure how that affects the game because I haven't played it again, but it'd be really cool if you replay it and you choose the different dialogue options if it affects certain things in the game. That would be really neat, although I wouldn't expect that too much. But in my opinion, the campaign, as a whole, is almost worth the price of admission itself. Yes, there are moments where you are actually emotionally involved. you're going to be emotionally involved and affected, especially if you're younger than, say, I don't know, 20, or older rather than 20, not younger. You're going to remember some things that do strike a chord with you, and I think that's what they were going for. So it's almost worth the price of admission just for the campaign itself. But let's talk about the multiplayer. Oh my goodness, the multiplayer. Okay. All right, first of all, you have all of these modes. If you can't find a mode in this game that works for you, that you enjoy playing, I'm worried for you, okay? Because we have 2v2 gunfight, which we saw in the beta. We have, they took it out for some reason, but it was in the game at launch. It'll probably come back at some point in time. But there was night vision mode. There's domination. There's team deathmatch. There's free for all. There's ground war, 32v32, and it's total chaos. Reminds me a little bit of Battlefield and crazy stuff like that, but I think that's what they were trying to go for, kind of entice the Battlefield people a little bit. But it's total chaos. It's also a great way to get a lot of kills if you want to, and a lot of XP. But it's total chaos. There's the standard 6v6 modes. Domination has been expanded upon to give you 20v20 modes, as well as team deathmatch 20v20, or 10v10. I'm sorry, not 20v20. Good lord, 10v10 on both sides, domination and team deathmatch. There is just so much in this game, in the way of game modes, and there is talk of adding more things. So holy crap, that's going to be a lot of stuff. But I will tell you, if you're going to run around like Black Ops 4 and you think you're going to jump shot everybody and you think you're going to slide around like a crazy person, you're very, 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 very wrong. Okay? This game does encourage and it encourages camping. It encourages you to be a little slow and methodical in your approach. Now, you can rush. I have done it. Okay, I have done it. I have played on several maps where I have run around with a assault rifle and a SMG and rushed and managed to do okay for myself. But you have to think about what you're doing before you do it. These maps are wide open. There are several pieces of cover, whether it's a car, whether it's containers or walls and door frames that you can use for makeshift cover or cover in general. And, you can make your way through things and take out people fairly aggressively, but you have to think about what you're doing. You have to take the time to say, okay, well, he's here, I'm here, what can I do to take out the guy that's in the window up there? You have to worry about flank routes, you have to worry about windows, and you have to worry about, because it's just everywhere. Okay? They're just everywhere. Now, if you are still having trouble adapting to modern warfare in the way that I am, because I like to run and gun sometimes too, you're going to have a little bit of trouble to start with, but don't give up on it, because it is possible to do. However, I will tell you that I prefer to snipe. I prefer to pick people off who are silly enough to get out in the open and not pay attention to what they're doing. So if you want to do that, you can also do that. If you run around like a crazy person, like in Black Ops 4, you're going to wind up with a date with my sniper rifle, and my date is a killer date. Okay? I don't miss usually. Unless, of course, I haven't upgraded my weapon enough, which we'll talk about here in just a second. All right, but the maps, like I said, they're vertical. A lot of them have a lot more verticality to them, so there's a lot more windows. Sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 3 stories you got to worry about. There's routes everywhere, so you can flank the campers, you can get around the campers, but holy cow, there's a lot. All right. One of the best features multiplayer has is the weapon customization, known as the gun bench or the gunsmith. Okay. The gunsmith, I've never seen customization like this in a game to this extent, unless you're playing an RPG or something like that. Okay. You can change in a simple assault rifle. I'll give an example of what I'm talking about. My M4A1 that I have on multiplayer that I've been playing with for a long time. I can change the barrel. I can change the stock. I can change the grips on the gun. I can change the scope. I can turn an M4A1 into an M16. And I can have it silenced. I can have it, or not silenced. I can have it suppressed. I can put a flash guard on it. I can put if I don't want to be quiet, but I don't want everybody to see my flash right away, I can put a flash guard on it. I can do all this stuff, and each attachment affects the gun in different ways. You can have recoil control. You can have sometimes you have faster ADS speed. Sometimes you have aiming stability. If you're a sniper, sometimes that's a good thing. You can do all this stuff. You have regular perks to deal with. Some of them are new, some of them are the same, like hardline and things like that. And each one of these affects your class in different ways. So this really is your personal gun, okay? Because what works for me may not work for you. So it encourages you to experiment with each gun, to find out what you like, what you don't like, and things like that. And it's incredible the amount of customization in this game. So big shout out to Infinity Ward for coming up with this idea. You get 5 attachments per gun, plus you get the option to add perks to your gun. You get perks for your class that don't affect the attachments for your gun. It's just amazing. Okay, so yeah, each gun is different, and each person's gun will be different for them. Okay, so I can't really tell you what the best class setup is, because honestly, it just depends on what you like. It's just awesome. 32v32. The ground war mode, like I said, is chaos. It's insane. It's the best way to get kills if you want to get kills in a ridiculously fast fashion. Let's talk about co-op. Oh shoot! You know what? I've been talking for almost 20 minutes already. Oh my goodness! We need more clips. Hang on. Okay, so let's talk about co-op. And right now you might think, well, there's nothing wrong with this game. No, there's plenty of issues with the game. Now, aside from the fact that there's camping, but every Call of Duty has camping. Some guns are overpowered, but hey, that happens. You can say what you want about the map design. It sucks. It doesn't. My biggest gripe is actually in the name, okay? Look, we have multiplayer, campaign, single player, and we have co-op, which means work together. Traditionally, in the Modern Warfare world, this was supposed to be optional online, offline. Okay? You do either one. You could sit on the couch, play with your friends on the couch, your family on the couch, or you could jump online, play with some friends that you have online, or you could play by yourself. Okay? Yeah, about that. At launch, even though we were told that co-op mode, Spec Ops mode, survival mode, PC, Xbox, contractual stuff, all that stuff is crazy. But anyway, we were told that you could play it on the couch at home with your friends, just like in the old days. That's what we're trying to do. We want everybody to be involved. Guess what? At launch, co-op, whether it's Spec Ops or the survival mode, is not an option. Split screen. Kind of nuts, right? Because I can jump online with a split screen multiplayer match, whether it's domination, team deathmatch, realism mode, whatever it is, except for ground war, I can play split screen with my son or my wife or whoever wants to play right here at home. I don't have to jump online. So here's the deal. If you don't have any friends online, you better get some real quick. Or the friends that you have online, if they don't have the game yet, buy it for them for Christmas. Because otherwise, you're going to be playing Spec Ops either with some randoms online, or you're going to be playing it, or attempt to play it anyway, by yourself. And let me tell you, I've tried to play Spec Ops by myself. And I thought it was because I was getting older, my reflexes are getting slower or whatever. But Ryan here actually played Spec Ops. Tried to play Spec Ops by himself. And what did you say it was?
There's nothing in it. It's stupid.
Not only is there nothing in it at the moment,
okay,
but it's ridiculously hard, right?
It is insanely hard. You have to play online to be able to access any of the good missions. The rest is just survival.
Right. And so here's my problem, okay? That's cool. That's fine. It's ridiculously hard. What I hear in the back of my head is get good. Well, okay. But, yikes. Okay? But here's my problem with that. If you get thrown into a match with randoms, and I did this, so I know. Randoms sometimes care about the mission. Sometimes they just want to see if they can get some XP and level up stuff. And that's great. But your gaming experience will greatly depend upon who you're playing with. And sometimes it's better to play with people who know you and not some random people. Now, I'm all for making new friends. I'm all for that. I'm all for meeting people and all that stuff. But it makes it difficult. So that's a huge misstep. Put split screen in the co-op mode. Spec Ops and survival for PS4 and eventually for Xbox and PC. I'm sorry, guys. I really am. Year sucks. But anyway, also, here's another gripe that I have. And I didn't think about this until probably yesterday when I was writing the scripts for this review. What in tarnation is up with, gosh, now I forgot what I was going to do. What is up with some people will say the map design is horrible, okay? It's too vertical, there's too many holes and too many ways to do things and all that kind of stuff. I kind of like the map design, so say what you will about the map design. Yes, there's camping in the game. And to a certain extent, there's a lot of camping in the game. But there are ways around the camping. There's always been camping in Call of Duty, especially the Modern Warfare series. And if you don't believe me, go play Modern Warfare Remastered right now. And if you play on Crossfire, the dude up in the blown out building, or the dude up by the bus in those two windows, that whole alley right there, there's always been camping, okay? Yes, it encourages camping a lot in this game, but there are ways around it. Like I said, I've already done it. So that's not an issue. You can say what you want about the slowness of this game, because all the jetpack kids, let's be real. I'm sorry, guys. For those of you who are really young and you've played, your experience to Call of Duty is only limited with Black Ops 4 or Infinite Warfare, or even Black Ops 3. Sorry, this ain't that. It ain't that. And that's not necessarily a gripe. That's just being real. It ain't that. You're going to have to think about what you're doing. You're going to have to be a little more cautious and a little more careful, because just like in Crossfire, in Modern Warfare Remastered, or Modern Warfare, whether you play it on your PS3 or not, if you walk out in the open, you're going to be sniped or shot, because it's just what it is. And it's a callback to that game. So that was my biggest gripe, was that the co-op, just huge part of the game, is missing a key component, at least in my opinion. If you don't care about split screen or whatever, that's fine. You can disagree with me. I'm okay with that. But considering all of this stuff, all of the pluses. The campaign is a huge plus. The multiplayer to me, for the first time in a long time, I'm able to snipe because of the settings. There's in-depth settings with the ADS sensitivities and the regular sensitivities itself. There's so many attachments that allow me to snipe for the first time in years, because I'm a disabled gamer, so I have trouble with that. So I can actually snipe fairly well now. I just played a little bit ago and got for me, this is good. So 11 kills without dying. So I thought that was pretty good. It's just awesome all the way around. Now, there are some negatives and there are some things that people aren't going to like. But to answer your question, is this worth a buy? The only thing that we haven't talked about is progression. And let me tell you real quick. I know it's getting a long video, but hang with me just a second. Everything in this game, everything from campaign to what you do in the multiplayer to what you do in co-op, if you ever get to play co-op, is tied to progressing your weapons and giving you additional XP. If you play the campaign, you get XP tokens that you can then turn around and use in the multiplayer. They're timed XP tokens, so if you collect a bunch of them and you sit down to use several of them, you better have the time to do it, because the timer doesn't stop because you stop playing. Once you start the timer on your XP tokens, then keep going for the entire time that whether you're in the lobby, whether you're playing a game or not. But they are worth it. If you play multiplayer, you will level up through 55 regular in what they call enlisted ranks. You'll go from private to, I think it's I want to say a master sergeant major.
And sergeant major.
Okay.
Or sergeant major.
All right. So you'll level up through 55 regular ranks, just like before. But instead of prestiging, you get what is known as officer ranks after that. Okay. And you'll level up. I think there's a ridiculous amount of officer ranks. I think you go from lieutenant all the way up to general or something. So probably 55 more ranks. Okay, level 100.
Realistically, you start at warrant officer, but whatever.
Doesn't matter. But it's ridiculous because there's once you get to level 55, the original base 55, okay, you do get to keep all of your unlocks. You get to keep your weapons, whatever you unlocked, you get to keep it. It's yours. So that's awesome. The officer ranks are only there for additional stuff to do, additional unlocks like calling cards and whatever they have planned for that. Okay, variants on weapons, things like that. And then once the season, or once they decide to kick in the seasons, those officer ranks go away. You're bumped back down to level 55, but your unlocks are still there. So you just basically go through the additional, however many levels there are for you. So that is that's pretty cool. That you get to keep your unlocks, because before, remember, prestiging, you basically had to start from scratch, unlock all your weapons again and all this kind of stuff. And all you got really was an emblem, and it was kind of sort of not cool, at least in my opinion. Now, if you want to grind, there's plenty to grind. Your weapons level up individually. Right now, I have all 3 sniper rifles, and I have several of my guns unlocked. But I've been playing with an assault rifle, M4A1, for a very, very long time now. I still have not maxed out my gun, and I am on level 30, 34, 35, something like that. So there are plenty to grind, and there will be new additional weapons coming and new maps coming. And so there's going to be plenty of stuff to do to keep you busy. They've also talked about having a battle pass like in Fortnite, where they have a free pass where you can just earn things through gameplay, or you can have a premium pass. They promised, although if you watch my video on that, you'll understand why I don't think it's exactly what everybody says it is, but they said that they are not going to add any microtransactions that lock away weapons and behind paywalls and stuff like that, that you can earn all the things that affect gameplay just by playing the game. And so far, if this is the way it stays, I gotta say, it's pretty awesome. Because I unlocked a variant of a submachine gun this morning. And I have to say that I am impressed with the way that they have done it. So, what is my final verdict? That's a lot of stuff to unpack. Whew. Holy cow. Anyway, what's my final verdict? Should you buy it? Should you not? Well, I guess that's up to you. I think the campaign's worth the time. I think that you will enjoy the campaign. I think if you are willing to give the new multiplayer a shot and slow down a little bit and take your time and think about what you're doing before you do it, and once you learn the maps, I think you'll be okay, and I think you'll enjoy the multiplayer. I do. I know I enjoy the multiplayer, even though I get melted quite a lot. I enjoy it. It's fun, and I do recommend that you pick up the game. If you're scared about the microtransactions, don't worry, because I am going to do a look and a review of the microtransactions when they are implemented into this game, so this review is technically not done. But I do think it's worth your time, and I do think it's worth buying the game. Just keep in mind about the co-op and the Spec Ops thing, especially that, because that is an issue. And if you are not a fan of slower tactical gameplay, because I know that's a catchphrase, but you have to have some tactics to figure out how you're going to get into a building and around things and all kinds of stuff. So if you're not a fan of that, and you'd rather just run around in Black Ops 4 and like a chicken with its head cut off and just jump shot from here to Christmas, then jump back into that. There is talk of Battle Royale coming to this game as well. So that's not out yet, obviously, and technically still a rumor, but it could happen, I guess. And I can only imagine what it'll be like to try to do a Battle Royale in this game, because it's just insane. So keep in mind, you've heard my negatives, you've heard my positives, you heard what I talked about. So if that appeals to you, pick it up. If not, I understand, and find something else to play. But that's my thoughts. That's what I thought. Let me know what you guys think. And again, please do not spoil anything for anybody. If you enjoyed the video, leave me a like. Subscribe if you're new. And of course, hit the notification bell so that you're notified whenever content hits the channel. You can follow me on Facebook.com/VirtualNunchucks. You can follow me on Twitch.tv/VirtualNunchucks. And of course, on Twitter @VNunchucks, where I am most of the time. So I hope you guys have a great day. And I hope to see you guys in the game real soon. Let me know in the comment section below also if you'd like to have an opportunity to play with me on occasion, or if you guys want to do want to see more content. Just let me know, because I do play, but I'm not centered on Call of Duty as a channel. So if you want to see more Call of Duty content, the only way I know that is if you let me know in the comment section, or if you leave me a bunch of likes on this video, and I'll put more content up. But I hope you guys have a great day. And we'll see you again in the next video. All right? Talk to you later, guys. Have a good one.